Wow.
Well, I've seen them all on Facebook, and they're just beautiful cousins.
Thank you.
Oh, look at that. Oh, we've got them enlarged now. Hi, Bobby and June. Oh.
Hey, Bobby and June.
I wanted
You
to
guys
get
want to tell me about
ahead
how
so I
old you
can
are?
take notes.
Tell me how
Okay,
old
Chuck's
you are.
getting.
Oh, I've got a pen and paper also.
I'm 4 in June. No. No. I was told.
I want to talk.
I'm very used to doing this.
1, 2, 3.
She's 3. That's right.
Huh?
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Look at that.
So where are you guys from?
Amanda,
We're in Houston.
You're the ones in
Hi,
LA?
Chuck.
Yes, Darwin and Joan.
Okay.
Hey.
I'm in the other room from Diane and Nancy.
Hi, Chuck.
There you go. All these computer screens. Hi, Chuck.
Hey.
Hi, Chuck.
Amanda, that's my husband, Chuck. He's in the other room.
Hi, Chuck.
Elaine,
Hey.
Amanda, it lives in Houston, and yes, you got it. She's Darwin and Joan's daughter. And her handsome husband.
Yeah.
So handsome.
You guys you're calling from Houston. I'm getting confused here. Hi, I'm Elaine. I'm in California.
Hi, Elaine. Elaine, where are you in the Fives?
Just south of them right now. We're in Irvine. We're in Orange County, just south of LA, about an hour south. So it's smoky and ashy.
Yeah, it's been, I mean, we've just been socked in all weekend with the smoke.
And where are you?
Seattle.
Oh, okay. That's what Darwin was saying. Yeah, you're bad too. I've seen a lot of
Really, yeah, it's been terrible.
My daughter is a news anchor in Portland. And so I know more about Portland and Seattle weather than I know about California because we watch it all the time. We stream her. But it's really bad up there. You guys okay?
Well, you know, I've had my windows shut the whole weekend and am just kind of keeping my air conditioner on for fresh air. But it's awful.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. You can smell it and taste it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Your throat. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Nancy, are you in school or are you doing a virtual school?
Virtual school. So this is just kind of my spot.
Congratulations. Yeah, our school districts here are still until possibly the 24th of September, unless they got that waiver. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
In our county, because our rates have been down, but it could change any minute.
Mm-hmm.
So that's crazy. Kindergarten virtual, meeting your kids for the first time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Through a screen.
Yes. Doing the best we can. He's trying to get on a few minutes ago. I don't know where he.
Let's see. We see.
Yeah, because like minutes ago he said he's trying to get on.
Yes.
Yeah, let's admit him.
Okay, we got to admit him.
Oh, there he is.
There he is. He's coming.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to set you back up to this view.
Okay, hold on one second, Nance. We're coming
Gallery,
in here with.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, this is good. We got the gallery picture.
I can see everybody.
Okay, all right.
Little face there.
Oh yeah,
Look at those little faces in Houston. Those little young cousins we got. Adorable. Okay, wait. Okay, Chuck's gonna try to pull.
None of the R's are on yet. None of the R cousins.
Say that again, Darwin.
Cousins from Pennsylvania are on yet.
Our 5 R.
I do know Romaine.
We'll have to review the family tree if everyone gets
yes.
on.
Yeah.
I tried to send up an email form for those I knew that were joining us, but they were like, I was not sure. I didn't know for sure, Amanda, you were going to join us. I wasn't sure how many of the Pennsylvania cousins were going to be in one location joining us. Romaine said several, so we should be seeing her any minute, but I can't understand why we're not getting Glenn in.
Glenn's camera is not turned on.
Glenn.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Glenn, can you hear us? There he is. Hi, cousin Glenn.
Hi,
Larry's on the
Clisham family.
Elaine, Glenn, and Nancy are sister and brother.
Okay.
Elaine, you got that? And they're Charles's children, Charles and
Hi, Elaine.
Andrea.
Nice to see you. Why did I lose Nancy? Am I not?
Nancy's in the middle. Do you see Nancy? Oh,
No,
we have
I
her in the
lost.
middle.
Oh, I must. Oh, I have to go to another screen.
Oh,
Now I have everybody.
Let's see, Glenn, do you know everybody here? Of course, I'm Diane, and this is Nancy, the Queen
I
Mother.
know Diane and Nancy.
I was named after Nancy.
Oh,
That's
that's
right.
right. I heard that story.
Nancy was named after this crazy Nancy. And
And
Glenn,
Nancy, do you
I am the
remember
boss.
when I was in Myrtle Beach?
yes.
We got the video.
Yes.
You look familiar.
I
for one of the.
Yes, they were.
I have some of Nancy's videos that I show that make people laugh.
Yes, yes. And Glenn, the man.
I've seen a limerick or two.
The guy in the rose-colored shirt, Glenn, is my husband, Chuck. And I think you know everybody else.
No, it's
And you got Elaine.
Can we say how we're
Elaine, I don't
related?
think we've met before. Yeah, we have to review.
No.
I think I heard Amanda say we need a family tree review.
We do need a family tree review. Do you think we should wait for everybody to get here? We know that there's a couple more.
Hierarchy, like a visual, and send it around.
Well, yes, yes. Darwin, was that
And
something?
I know you from pictures. I think, I don't know, Darwin, did you show me pictures of Glenn when we were FaceTiming last year?
Yes, I did.
You did, because you're very, very familiar to me. Diane and I are first cousins.
Mhm, we were raised in the
Nancy,
same house.
my mother is Jean, who passed away, but she and Nancy,
to my feet.
we grew up in New
And so
Jersey.
Jean
Oh,
is our grandfather, Glenn Clisham's sister.
Sister.
And
Grandfather.
cousin.
No.
Ruth was our great grandmother.
Ruth, I'm so, okay. See, I need a visual too.
That's
We
okay. You know what?
do that. We go back to
Darwin.
that original Clisham family.
Darwin was
Exactly.
weren't you going to do this for a real family reunion, Darwin? Do a little family tree for us?
I guess so, yes.
I guess
Well,
we
the way
both
this-
know
The way the hats came about is Amanda asked me, what's the origin of this reunion? And I had to think about it. I said, well, that's the Clishams. And I'm thinking, does anybody really know what the Clishams are?
Well, Chuck
And-
knows. Chuck looked it up.
Well, maiden names, by marriage. I don't know. So Robert said, so what's a Clisham? So that's how the hat got.
Yeah, mine on.
I'm still trying to figure out what a Clisham is.
You don't hear that
Well-
name. You really don't hear that name.
I can fill in some names. I just get them mixed up, but I know the names once I hear them. Like my question, this is my favorite question about the Clishams. When Darwin and I were getting married 45 years ago, this month, and most of you we saw.
Elaine was at the wedding.
Mhm.
Yes.
I'm going to run into my bedroom and get something to show you.
But 45 years ago, and I was writing to the Toole family as part of the Clishams,
'Cause they're
and Darwin's mom said, well, this person goes by Toole and this person goes by O'Toole. So that's one of the big mysteries that I've never understood of that wing of the
Oh,
family.
you know what? We lived with that forever, and I never really processed that. Called the Aunt Mary O'Toole.
Right,
And we called Dick Toole.
right. So that's why I was like, okay, they're either Toole or
Right.
O'Toole. But that's
Diane,
just that
was she
wing
on
of the
that?
family.
Why didn't we notice that?
But I did notice that, but I've never asked them. However,
Thought about it.
Dick Toole's daughter, Debbie, was supposed to be joining us tonight. So I don't understand why it's 7:15 and she hasn't joined us, or Romaine, who was also going to join us. I keep looking for names to come up. And I also, as you know, told
Right.
everyone that if they were having a problem to call us because, you know, Chuck can talk them through this. He's brilliant. Chuck, by the way, looked up what a Clisham was while we were having dinner tonight. He Wikipedia'd. It's X-rated. Chuck, tell them what you found out, what a Clisham is.
Well, does anybody else know?
No.
Isn't it a mountain somewhere in the the British, like the northern Scottish islands?
Very good, teacher.
The Hebrides or Hebrides? Yeah.
I've Googled Clisham a few times.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah, just to see.
So your roots are Scottish, maybe, huh?
They're named after a mountain range. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
It's actually, there is a specific mountain called the Clisham that looks pretty, I think it's quite high, and it's kind of a feat, like people hike it. It's like a big deal. And there's YouTube of people hiking the Clisham, or, right? Chuck, is that what you saw?
Yeah, I think it's the highest peak in the United Kingdom.
Wow.
And southern, I don't know how you pronounce it, Hebrides.
Hebrides.
Yeah.
It is Hebrides.
Well, Glenn, that's your next challenge. Obviously, you hike everywhere. That's your next challenge.
I would love to. I know I've never been to the UK.
You could plant a Clisham family flag on the peak.
There you go.
I'll leave this hat. It'll be waving on a pole.
In Wikipedia, though, there was a lot of Irish connections too on Wikipedia. You know, and that's where the family comes from.
Have you guys done your heritage thing to find out what percentage you all are?
Yeah, I did 23andMe, and a woman emailed me that we're cousins. I have so many cousins on there. And she said, you know, where are your Clishams from? And I said, well, the ones I was connected to were from the Scranton area. And that's all I knew, or Pennsylvania in general. And she had said they must be from Mary Clisham, who emigrated with her sons from Mayo County in Ireland. Mayo County. Mayo County. And she had claimed she'd researched all the Pennsylvania Clishams came through this one woman who came with her sons and out of Pittston. And I don't know who this lady is. You know, she sent me this email. I'll try to dig through and find it. That was interesting. Who knows if it's right?
Glenn, did you find old Clisham too or something?
There is if you look on Facebook for Clisham, you come across a lot of Clishams. Yeah.
Maybe
so I
they
think
wanted to
it
do
was probably
tool.
dropped. Right.
They dropped the O like the tools.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of folks, you know, when they came to the States as immigrants, they didn't want to be identified as, you know, those latest immigrants coming in, taking the jobs. Every group went through that, right? So they would all try to Americanize their name by taking away things like O's or skis or, you know, whatever, Polish, Irish, Italians.
Well, and as much as it's an honor to be named after people, that's where it gets extremely confusing. Because of all the Ruths and all the Marys and all the...
I know.
That's right. The Ruths and Marys.
Hey, Romaine.
Okay,
it's Diane. Are you gonna Skype with us? Your family's all waiting for you.
Not Skyping, we're Zooming.
We're Zooming. Huh? Yes.
Now I just heard her say right now.
Yes, I emailed you. You didn't get it. She didn't get the email. Okay. Well, we are Zooming. Can you go to your? Oh, you didn't get the email. So Chuck, how do we get Romaine on here without the email?
She just
Romaine,
needs to go.
I can't believe you didn't get it.
She can just go to zoom.com. And we'll have to give her the meeting ID and the password.
Mm-hmm. Okay, hold on. Chuck's going to give you the meeting ID because we have a great group here. I just never. We have Nancy and Glenn and Elaine, and then cousin Amanda and her husband from Houston. That's Darwin's daughter. I know. I thought you were going to have the sisters here but you know, when I first sent this out in June or July, you responded and said yes. No, she said it said November. No, well, you know what?
She's thinking of the reunion.
Well, that was when we rescheduled the reunion.
That was the
We
second.
rescheduled the
Physical
reunion to
reunion.
November, but then of course we had to
You know,
cancel
I don't
that.
think I got the
But
reminder for this
it doesn't
either.
matter.
I saw it via Darwin.
It's okay. I just wanted to call you and see if you could get in. Chuck is our techie, and he will tell us how to do this. I couldn't reach. Okay, put Bill on, and okay. Everybody mind there? I knew there was something wrong because originally Romaine said yes, she would do it and have the cousins there, but now she's thinking it's November 13th. So.
Part 2.
Oh, no, I got it. You sent it yesterday.
Yeah.
I actually opened yours.
Hey, Bill, so glad that you're there, and we're
Weird.
sorry that there's this confusion. I don't know how, I know Romaine had a new email, and I thought I had it because it's how I've been, you know, corresponding with her. So I'm sorry the other Pennsylvania cousins can't join us, but we'd love for Romaine to join us. We're on a Zoom, and Chuck is going to talk us through this.
Well, I'm gonna,
hold on a minute. Hold on.
Diane, why don't you mute your microphone? No, not on your phone, on the Zoom. And everybody else can continue with their chatting with each other, and we'll get this figured out.
Okay, so you want me to mute? Do you want to just come and get the phone? That'd be a better thing if you would just come and get the phone and help Bill.
I'll do it, but
I'm so glad it's not just me.
I'm gonna do it. I'm muting, and I'll come get your phone.
Okay. Bill, hold on a minute. Sorry, honey. We're trying to. Chuck's he's our technical wizard, and but we have several cousins here. It'd be wonderful to have a representative from Pennsylvania. Hold on, honey.
We need one
This
from
is Cousin
Connecticut.
Bill.
Hey, Cousin Bill, how are you?
Elaine, where are you?
Elaine is in Irvine.
While we were
No,
waiting,
Romaine.
are we waiting for Romaine?
Yeah, they're coming on
For
shortly.
Joan and Darwin. Now, I'm putting my hand over this little spot where it got a little dirty, but I want you to know that I still have this.
Wow.
Joan
Oh,
Jay.
wow.
What is it?
Was for my wedding. It says,
Something wrong.
Elaine and Jim, March 21st, 1986. It says Stitch. What do you call it? I guess I framed it because it's from Irvine.
Wow. Isn't that sweet?
Yes. No.
That's cute.
Well, you know, since I like what you said earlier, Glenn, about go ahead and tell everybody how we're all connected.
Yeah, I think we should.
Figure it out, because we'll get Romaine in on it here in a minute. She's Pennsylvania. We'll figure that out. So we all know who Darwin is, right?
No.
Yeah.
He's the one hiding up in the corner.
Except your whole
horse.
family.
Oh, Darby horse. That's what my father used to call him,
But
Darby.
Papa used to call him Darber Horse, Elaine.
he
Remember
had
that?
names for everyone.
Yes, he changed
Yes.
everybody's
Some
name.
just didn't know our grandfather.
If you all tell me the names of people in order, there's a chat function on the side, and I can type in the names of everyone. If we started with the great, I guess it would be Darwin's father, right? As far as that set,
It would
and those
be-
You can
siblings.
start there. You can start
Darwin's
there.
father or Nancy's mother.
Grandmother Gertie.
Gertie.
So we have Glenn. Well, we have who else? So who are the other?
The family was
No,
Uncle
we have to start. You have to go up before that. The highest level that connects us all is Gertrude and
Michael.
Uncle Mickey and what do you call them, Mickey?
Mickey Daddy.
Mickey Daddy.
Gertrude and Uncle.
But it was
That's
Michael.
where the Clisham came from.
Wait, was
And
that
then
a
they had 12 kids. Yeah, they had 12 kids. So I remember Mother Gertie because we visit her in Pennsylvania, and I have a picture. I wish I thought to look forward to 4 generations of Mother Gertie, my grandmother Ruth, my mother Jean, Regina, and me when I was a little girl. And
I can send that to y'all. I've got that.
So,
they had
so
12.
Maybe I won't type it after all.
Gertrude and Michael Clisham had 12 children.
That's the top of the tree.
Okay.
Gertrude and Michael had 12. Okay. So they would have been
And our
our
grandmother,
Darwin's grandparents.
no, they would have been Darwin's great-grandparents.
Great grandparents. Okay.
And then,
They have last name Clisham?
yes, that's where the
No,
Clisham.
no, no, wait a minute.
My
No,
grandparents.
Gertie was Darwin's grandmother,
Yeah, because we're
not great-grandmother.
Elaine, we're from the next generation.
Which
Yeah. Even though you're older, you're
Okay, so there was Mother Gertie.
third half generations going on. We've been the same age forever, Darwin.
We're the same age, but Elaine, we have younger parents than Darwin had.
Yeah.
So basically, there was Gertie and Michael. And then they had, I thought they had 9 children, 12 children, whatever.
I didn't know they had 12 either.
And in that group was Uncle Glenn, Uncle Paul, Uncle Jimmy, Aunt Rosalie, that's the Pennsylvania connection.
Right.
Our grandmother, Mom's mom, Ruth.
Ruth was the oldest.
And then Mary, Aunt Mary, she's the Connecticut connection.
Right.
O'Toole.
And then there were
Richard, who got hit by the train.
Right. I was going to say, and there was somebody else that got killed.
And someone died of an illness. I don't remember. I wish I remembered. Like, we used to know all these stories die.
I didn't know there was 12. I thought there was 9.
Yeah, I thought there was 9 too. But either way, there were a bunch.
Either way.
But that's how we're all connected, is through the Gertie and Michael Clisham. And they are Darwin's grandparents, but they're Elaine and my great-grandparents.
There you
go. I like Gertie. That's a cute name.
Yes, isn't that cute?
Glenn.
Yeah.
Because Glenn and Ruth were brother and sister. That's what you just said to me before, Darwin.
Glenn
right?
and Ruth were brother and sister, correct.
Okay.
Yes.
I got it right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got in my list here Glenn, Paul, Jimmy, Rosalie, Ruth, who was the oldest.
Right.
Mary and Richard. And there was more, but we're not sure of their names.
Wait.
Remember?
Paul, did you get Paul?
I got Paul.
You got Jim?
I got
Do you have Jim?
Glenn, Paul, Jimmy, Rosalie, Ruth, Mary, Richard.
And the milk
Right.
man.
We know Uncle Jimmy was the youngest. He never had any children.
There was a Regina.
There was a Regina.
There was a Regina. That's who my mother's named after, and she died, and I can't remember how. Yeah.
Right. Elaine's right. There was a Regina and a Richard. I know that for sure. So
Wait,
how
1,
many
2,
was that?
3,
Make?
4, 5, 6. I got 8. That's 8.
It's so weird. I just thought of that.
You got 8 out of 12. That's pretty good. That's
Maybe
all
that
I know.
was 9.
8 legitimate children.
Maybe there was only 9. How many is that, Glenn?
I've been telling
that's-
everyone forever there's 12.
That's 8.
Hmm.
You got Rosalie, right?
I got Rosalie. I put in the chat. If you click at the top, there's a
Yeah,
chat
there's a
bubble.
Or it can
If
be
you click on it, you'll see the chat on the right side, and I'm trying to type it. It's not very neat.
Or it might be at the bottom of the screen, too.
Yeah. It can be, it's on the bottom of some screens, right?
Right. Glenn, 1, 2, 3,
Ty.
4.
Chuck, did you get Romaine straight?
Aunt Mary and Uncle Paul,
Well, we're trying.
Uncle Jimmy.
Waiting for them to
Rosalie.
So
be invited.
What, Nancy?
who's Nancy's parent?
Okay, Mom's mother was Ruth. And she was the oldest of the Clishams. She
Okay.
was the oldest daughter of Gertie and Michael.
Was Glenn UD's father was Ruth's brother?
Exactly.
Correct.
Uncle
Correct.
Glenny was Aunt Ruth's brother. Absolutely.
I'm UD.
But see, I'm not.
Right.
So,
They know you're not.
so
Ruth.
Nancy and Darwin are first cousins.
Yes.
Yes.
Nancy and Darwin. Okay, Darwin,
Yeah.
which one are you here?
First cousin.
And I'm just,
UD, raise your hand so Nancy can see you.
Oh, look at Elaine's picture.
Aunt Nan, look
Oh,
at
look
Nana.
at Nana and Papa.
That's Ruth, everybody.
Oh,
Yeah.
And Uncle Morris, or
He
we
always
call
had a
him Mo.
smirk.
Put it
UD,
closer.
raise your hand so Nancy can see you.
Can Aunt Nancy see this? Are you looking in the right place, Di? It's on my little box.
Yes.
Oh, up there. No, I wasn't looking up
See
there.
Papa and Nana.
Oh.
Because it depends on where I'm showing up on your screen.
We
So that's the old.
They are, they look
I
good.
think I got this. That's the oldest Clisham child in that generation, and that's Glenn. So,
Yeah.
but Glenn was one of the younger ones, right?
Okay, this is Glenn right here. Glenn, but that's Martha. That's Darwin's
Right.
mom.
Right.
Right.
But that's Glenn.
Glenn is Ruth's brother,
Which one is Glenn?
Correct.
and Ruth is the oldest
Oh,
of
Granny. Oh,
the
yeah.
9 or 12 children we're trying to.
Whichever. Take your pick. We'll figure it out one of these.
And there she was when she got very old, and there's Diane.
Oh, yes.
Sorry, I kept doing this wrong. Here we go. I
That's
have-
Nana
Oh,
and Ruth.
that's Diane and Ruth.
That's,
Yeah.
that's,
we can hear them now,
that's
but
the
I don't see
matriarch
anything. Well, I don't know
of that generation.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
where's the, yeah,
we can see them.
Elaine.
This is,
Oh, and wait, Elaine, we have another cousin that's just joined us.
oh,
This is Mackenzie, Elaine's beautiful daughter, Mackenzie.
hi, Mackenzie.
Also a school teacher.
She is.
Another school teacher in the family.
She's a speech and language pathologist.
Yeah.
And I spent 47 years in education.
Amanda and Robert, we are a very educated family.
That work.
Lots of
Set up her
teachers.
classroom in here.
Are you all teaching? Are you remote? Are you teaching from home like we are?
I'm both. I'm remote, and then I work with kids who are pretty
Yeah.
severely handicapped, and they have come back to school. So
Right.
it's
Yeah.
a lot.
Because I mean, I went
This
into
all
the camera.
seems very familiar. It's funny because
Live in Oregon.
we've been figuring out this Zoom and Teams and all these things with our kids all week. So
So confusing. It's really.
it is.
I
Yeah.
have this one
Nancy
camera
wearing
on.
on her
You just
head.
pull it off.
Here, bring
I
in
don't
Nancy
think
closer to
so.
the screen. Nan, can you see Mackenzie?
Lean in closer. Oh, so they can
It's on
see.
your head, Aunt Nancy.
It's her crown because she's the queen mother of this group.
That's right. She's the
This is-
matriarch.
This is another picture of Glenn.
I never did this Zoom
I like the
thing
word
before,
queen.
so I don't know.
That's another picture of Glenn, and that is Nancy and Glenn's
Okay.
dad and his brother Dennis.
Oh.
Darwin's not in the picture yet. But that's Glenn and Dennis and Glenn Senior.
Okay. Well, I
Too
mean,
many similar names.
can they hear us while we're saying it?
They're trying to figure out because, it comes originally from Nana Ruth's generation, and she had so many brothers and sisters.
I'd have to go down and start the
All of
computer up
these
and-
guys are from one of Nana's great Nana's
No,
brothers.
we cannot hear Bill.
Yeah.
Can't hear one you're saying?
Waiting for.
I'm hearing somebody talk offline, but I'm not sure who.
Okay, is this, there's a phone picture going up here. Okay.
I can hear you talking on the phone.
Yeah, we can hear everything.
This is, Bill and Romaine are trying to come through. Okay.
Elaine,
Yes.
your daughter who was just there, what was her name again?
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie. Now, she's not the one who lives in Oregon.
No, her name is Wesley.
Okay.
Probably
And do you have more?
More common name.
No, well, I have a
Mary.
daughter
There's gotta
who's
be a way
older,
to do that.
Allison. Mackenzie and Wesley are my 2 daughters. They're not married. They don't have children. And Mackenzie lives here in Huntington Beach. My name is Matt. She's just over tonight for dinner. And Wesley's the one who lives in Portland.
Great.
Elaine, you know the scrapbook that your mom gave me with all the family in it?
Yes.
And I sent pictures to Nancy
Oh
and
my
Glenn.
God.
So,
We're the
Glenn, you
the
don't have
West
to do anything
Coast
now.
Clisham representatives.
All right.
A Glen of the Glen.
Oh my God, she
There
might
was-
have some information. I remember how old were you when we did
No, I did that in college.
I
I have a degree
oh,
in
wow, we might have a tree.
Okay, Mackenzie has Beatrice on here.
Never
Yes,
heard of her.
Yes, because we're trying to
Never heard
remember.
of Beatrice.
Like
No,
Glenn
no.
God.
I don't even know.
There we go, we got it.
Anna has
You have an app on our phone.
Glenn,
Oh,
Paul,
duo,
Minnie,
it's
Mary,
the
Regina,
video calls with,
Beatrice,
multiple people and stuff.
Rosalie,
I never did the Zoom thing on the phone.
and we have
I have to
Mickey
get on the
and
first computer
Gertrude.
up and then.
We
what do you
can
have to
hear,
blend the screen
we
and
need to
type
tell
in
Chuck,
there?
we can hear Bill
We're
talking.
hearing Bill. We're hearing Bill. We're not seeing Bill.
He just has to
Oh,
click
they're
on his
hearing us.
camera.
Diane, can you hear
Don't
me?
find his camera.
Yep.
Yes,
Turn on the video.
we don't have any video.
Yeah, we
can
don't
hear
either.
you.
Well, did you send me an email as to what to do for this Zoom call? That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah, Chuck, are you hearing that?
She was a Snyder. Mother Gertie was a Snyder.
Yes, that's
They
right.
can talk to them. I'll go down and see if I can get it.
Okay.
going on the
Snyder,
computer.
that's a whole nother family.
Grandma.
That's
Right?
Yeah,
Mother
that's
Gertie.
grandmother's maiden.
That's
Wait a
Gertie's
second.
maiden.
Time out.
She was, her roots
This
were
is what
Germany.
teaching on Zoom is like for those of you who haven't done it.
Darwin,
Yes.
I'll mute myself.
if Gertie was a Snyder, that's your mother's family, not your father's family.
Well, her maiden name was Snyder. Is that correct?
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, grandma's maiden name was Snyder.
Martha.
But Aunt Martha was a Snyder, but I don't think it's,
Oh, she was.
yes.
Oh,
Yes,
they were both
that's
just
what I'm saying.
unrelated Snyders.
That's what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
That's
Are
just
you-
That may
coincidental.
explain some things, though.
Or unless there was
So you're telling me that,
intra-family things going on there.
okay, so you're telling me, time out, I got to understand this. You're telling me that Gertie's maiden name was Snyder.
Yes.
And Darwin's mother's maiden name was Snyder, but they have nothing to do with each other.
That's
And Gertie
right.
was a English.
Unless.
Oh my God. No wonder
That's
it's
what
so
I always heard. I always heard they were Snyders and maybe even spelled differently.
Snyder.
Maybe spelled differently too. I don't know.
Elaine, how's your Snyder smell?
Why? With why?
SNY.
SNYDER? And that's Darwin's
And I
mother.
know we did good research on this project.
That's amazing.
Probably have ones they did when they were younger too.
That's great though to have that. We'll have to get this printed up, you know? Mackenzie, will you and Elaine help us do that?
Yeah, there's a lot of blanks. Okay, so now you see when she set this up from making my misinformation for my entire life, there are 13 possibilities.
You have literally told me that my entire life.
4, 5, 6,
That Nana
7,
Ruth
8,
was
9,
13.
10, 11. That's what I always remember.
Wow.
There were,
But a lot didn't
There
make
were-
it
there were-
past, like,
someone was killed in a war too.
Romaine, can you hear us?
Yes, I could hear you.
Oh, Romaine, she'll know better than we do about all of
Honey,
that.
I don't know why we can't see you.
I don't either. Bill's down at the computer, but did you sent me an email all about this recently?
Yes, absolutely. On Saturday, I sent an email to everyone who responded to when I first suggested this, a bunch of you said, yes, we'd like to participate. So I sent
Yes, I did do that.
On Saturday.
But I didn't get any current, recent email.
Is it,
Yeah, I didn't.
I'll have to, I'm afraid to pull up the email because I'll lose the Zoom. But either way,
Yeah.
it is how I've been communicating with you though. So I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Romaine Kill 1948 at gmail.com.
Yeah. Wait a minute. I think I don't know if I changed that or not. I don't know. I guess I get the stupid Clisham award.
No, honey. We're all learning, but I did.
There's no such thing as a stupid Clisham.
There you go,
Okay.
Amanda. Amen, baby. Yay, I love that. That's the next
Diane, you
step.
might not want to see this, but
We're all brilliant.
Oh, thank you.
email.
Oh, that's good. Elaine's holding up her phone. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, but I don't see Romaine. Oh, she's on there. Oh, I got the evidence, Romaine.
Yeah, but see, Romaine, I knew you had changed it from the
See what it says. For
bill. There was a bill in Romaine, but I sent it to your new one, which was the 1948 thing.
Yep, that's what you said too.
Well,
Cousin Sandy didn't respond either, and I've called her all day and can't reach her, so I don't know
Really? Oh,
But I'm glad to be with all of you. It's just, look at that little.
well, I'm glad to hear your voices at least.
Well, we're going to try to pull you up for sure, and I'm sorry about the confusion. We'll do this again another time when we can be more organized. I thought.
Yeah, I feel bad.
My organization.
My Gmail is small case Romaine, small KIL 1948 @gmail.com.
That's what we had there.
Mm-hmm.
Who's talking?
Well, I don't know what happened because
Romaine.
June.
We got Diane in your junk mail.
Are you on your phone, Romaine? Is that?
yes, I am.
Can you not hit the video or? Where?
No, Bill's down at the computer, but I'm just getting voices.
Well,
You don't have, do you have,
phone, you ought
did
to
you
be
try,
able-
did you download the app? Did you download the Zoom app?
No.
That might help.
Bill's trying to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, he's down. He's at the computer.
Romaine, while we've got you on the phone, though, tell us what you
Yeah.
know, because you once told me that you thought the Clisham clan came from County Cork.
Yeah, that's what and County Mayo. There were some relatives too. My mother told me.
Ah, that's what I heard. Yeah.
Yep, that's what cousin Glenn is saying. He talked to somebody
Yeah.
that we might be related to, a Mary Clisham.
Mary. The only Mary Clisham I know is Aunt Mary Toole Clisham.
Yeah, but there's
Yeah,
obviously
Mary Clisham Toole.
some kind of Mary who came probably long before all of us, and maybe
Yeah, I
we're
don't-
related to her.
It's possible Rosalie would know that. She's the oldest, but I don't recall that.
Mhm.
But I do know Grandma Clisham was a Snyder, and she settled. Did you know our house in Browntown, the family home, was just torn down?
No.
No.
Next to the
Yes, well, I'll think about it. Yeah, and that home had such a history. That was actually a shack. And when Grandma Snyder married Michael Clisham, she was only 15 or 16, I believe. And she came from a very wealthy family. And the family disowned her when she was going to marry Michael Clisham, our great-grandfather.
Wow.
Or our grandfather, that would be.
And was it because of their age, or was it because he was poor, or what?
No, because Catholic and Protestant.
Oh.
Yeah, back then, that was,
That's a taboo. That is taboo.
That was a classic
Clisham was
problem.
Catholic. Snyder was Protestant.
Right.
And they disowned her. So she was just a young girl, that started a marriage with nothing, because the house was just a little shack. And then eventually they kept building on and building on. And but the homestead was just torn down. Yeah, and there's so many
Romaine, I have a
memories.
question for you. Romaine, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Did you and Darwin's mother, Martha, she was a Snyder. Did you ever talk with her about the possibility that the Snyders they were related in any way other than through the Clishams?
I got to tell you, I didn't know Aunt Martha was a Snyder.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
And
she was Protestant also.
And she was also Protestant, and she also had 6 siblings.
I do know one story. I know because Aunt Martha was Protestant and Uncle Glenn was Catholic. My grandmother, Clisham, Sarah McGurdy, took all, I think Charles, Darwin, all the 3 brothers, and secretly had them baptized.
Whoa.
See, that's the rumor I always heard.
I may have heard that.
Didn't know that.
Did you know that?
No.
Yes.
Really?
Uncle
Wait, what
Darwin,
was
Darwin.
Repeat it.
I go both ways.
Say that again for
Yeah,
everybody.
Because Aunt Martha did it. Uncle Glenn your father, Glenn, wanted you raised Catholic, but
Absolutely.
Aunt Martha didn't.
That
So
was
my
right.
grandmother and I think Uncle Jimmy took the babies, or was it Aunt Mary maybe, Aunt Mary Clisham Toole, and had you secretly baptized into the Catholic.
Yeah.
Darwin, if you hit the synagogue, you'll have all your bases covered.
That is
They're all
funny.
rolling over.
That's a great story.
Now you
Yeah.
have to remember
My mother
too.
told us that when we were kids. She told us that. Yeah.
Wasn't there next to the cemetery, wasn't across the street like a tavern or what?
Yes, Smoky's Bar, Smoky's Tavern.
Is that still there?
Smoky. Yeah, but it's like it was turned into apartments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember, it didn't skip until recent times. When Darwin and I got married, I just said 45 years ago this month, we had to go through the same process. That Darwin had to agree to raise our children Catholic. I mean, so that's not.
Yeah.
Who knew I was legitimate?
So it wasn't. And I mean, I have Darwin's birth, and that's when this all came up, because I have Darwin's baptismal certificate from some Presbyterian church, but she also told me secretly the boys were taken and baptized in the Catholic Church. So that's all I know.
Yeah, and nobody knew it wasn't spoken of. Like only them knew about it, and then later on, my mother told us. But that's the story I remember hearing.
Did Grandma Snyder ever know that? Because I feel like I knew that. Like heard that from my mother.
Maybe your dad knew that. I didn't know that.
Well, I know Aunt Martha was strictly Protestant, I believe. She did not want the boys baptized Catholic.
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah.
He told me that, but
I remember your dad when we were I was like maybe 7. He was the nicest, most wonderful man. I mean, he's my godfather also, your dad, Glenn. But I remember him as just the kindest, nicest man. And he used to pretend that he was asleep on my mother's couch. And us kids, we were only little kids, we would go over to him and try and get change out of his pocket. And like he knew we were doing it. He knew it. But he didn't care. He would just let us, take the money and run. But he was just the sweetest, most kindest man. We all loved him so much.
Joan has a letter from your mom that she, I guess 45 years ago, she wrote your mom. And go ahead and read that letter, Joan, that Aunt Rosalie wrote back to us.
Yeah.
Is your father's sister?
Correct.
Yes.
Yes, Aunt Rosalie and Uncle Glenn were brother and sister.
But Aunt Rosalie.
Yeah, Uncle Glenn and my mother and Glenn are brother and sister.
And Aunt Rosalie was the youngest of the female.
Okay.
But yeah, she was the youngest, and Uncle Jimmy was the youngest male.
Right. How many were in that generation, Romaine? We've been discussing this.
There was 8 of them. Now you know the story of Aunt Regina. That'd be Grandma Clisham's daughter, Regina. Did you ever hear that story?
Well, that's who my mother was named.
Is she the one that got killed on the train?
No,
that was Richard.
Oh, Richard.
Richard. He was only like 11 or 12, I think. He was walking the tracks and the train came and hit him. Yeah. And my mother said she could still hear my grandmother screaming, when that happened. And that was up on the tracks right by the, across from the home there, back of Smoky's Bar. There's tracks are still there, actually.
Well,
but Regina, did you hear the story of Regina when she died in her 20s?
I remember.
Nope.
In the car accident?
Oh.
Well, that was written up in the local paper, the Dispatch, which they still have the Dispatch. But anyway, she was on her way home. I believe it was from a party. She was only like 24 maybe. And she was killed in a violent car crash where she went through the windshield.
Ooh.
And the story goes that she appeared, she asked for some cab driver picked her up somewhere, maybe at the party, I guess, but he gave an account of this, that she was in his car. Well, here she was already dead. And I tried my best to get that story, but we tried the archives and everything, the local ones, but we couldn't find it. But there is a story behind that, and it was documented that she appeared to this cab driver after she died.
Oh.
Yeah, that's like local history, way back when. But yeah, that's what we were always told.
And then,
Apparently, we have pictures of what I could see of her. She was a beautiful, beautiful young girl. And my grandma Clisham took it so hard with Richard and Regina. But yeah, we remember those two stories.
Are you all on Facebook? Or
So how many
we should
siblings?
create a family group so we could like share some photos and things. I'd be curious.
Yeah,
to
I was
see all
going to
the-
do that had I known it was tonight, because
Right.
we all have pictures of Grandma and Uncle Glenn and Uncle Jimmy. So I could get all those together and make copies even and send them.
yes,
Okay.
we're still confused about how many children there were in this
There was
family.
8.
She said 8.
There was there was Mary, Glenn. Well, the boys were Glenn, Paul, Richard, James. I think that's it, the 4 of them. Glenn, Paul, Richard, and James. And the girls were Rosalie, Mary, Regina,
Ruth.
Ruthie, Aunt Ruthie. There was 8.
Well,
Who's Beatrice?
Who's Beatrice?
You know what? I know there's a Beatrice on my father's side.
Maybe that
I
was
don't remember.
information.
I don't remember one on my mother's side. I'd have to ask my sisters
I
about
remember.
Rosalie about that.
As hearing the name, but I don't know who it was.
yeah, Mom says she remembers hearing that name, but she doesn't remember who it was.
I know there was a Beatrice that died on my father's side, but I'm not real sure about about Grandma Gertie's side.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure about that. I'd have to look into that.
Beatrice.
Mm-hmm.
Are you
On
wearing a
Grandma
hat?
Gertie's side.
Joan has a letter she wants to read to us from your mom.
Yeah, sure.
Joan.
Okay, I don't remember exactly why I contacted her. I think it was either a thank you note that I sent her or asking about addresses for you girls, for you 5 girls that I didn't, I knew you were, we called you the 5 R's and I didn't know.
We're still called that.
You're still the 5 R's.
Yeah.
So anyway, your mom was always so sweet, and I just was so tickled by this letter, and I had it tucked in my I had this little brides file of index cards of people's names, addresses, and who came to our wedding and all those kind of things. But anyway, it said, she was so sweet. She said, "Dear Joan, you seem like a very lovely person, even without meeting you. We are all happy to go to your and Darwin's wedding. Here are the names," and then she named you girls, Mr. and Mrs. Joseph. Well, of course, she was Mr. and Mrs. Joseph Tischler, but then it was Mr. and Mrs. Rosalie Patrick Flynn, Mr. and Mrs.
Yeah, they're divorced.
Kilcullen, Mr. and Mrs. William Bauman, Mr. and Mrs. Ruth Barraza, and Mr. and Mrs. James Middleton.
Yeah.
And she said, Billy Bauman is half Italian, but Joe Speranza is all Italian. So we have Italians in the family. Also, all our neighbors are Italians. Thank God we all get along good. Pray everything goes well for you, and with God's help that we will all make the wedding. I just got out of the hospital. Love your new intended Aunt Rosalie.
Oh, that was nice.
It was so sweet.
That sounds just like her.
Well, I have to tell you, out of all those names that you mentioned of the husbands, Bill and I are the only ones that stayed married. We're the only ones that are stayed married. The rest are all divorced, unfortunately.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so.
Remain.
Yeah.
Is it the Italians' fault?
Yeah.
Well, the 2 Italians are, Speranza. Bauman is actually a German name, but his mother was Italian. Yeah.
Wow.
So, yep.
I want to know about Robert. We have Amanda here, is Darwin's daughter, Romaine, and her husband is just being so sweet and so quiet. But I want to know where he's from and if his family is anywhere near as crazy as ours.
Nobody's as crazy as ours.
Yeah, I'm not Italian by any means.
Good one.
What's a Clisham?
Yeah, I got my hat. I want to know the answer.
No, but where is your family roots from?
like way back, I guess Europe, Russia, but locally, my mom and her whole family grew up in Houston, and my dad's from near Atlanta.
Oh,
Both Southerners. I like it.
wow. Yeah.
His mom's side's one of 5. His dad's side's one of 2. So they have a big family, and Robert's one of 4 kiddos. So.
And Romaine, you should see their kids. They're adorable. Absolutely.
My what?
You should see Amanda's and Robert's children. They're beautiful. They were Zooming with us earlier.
Oh.
We like them.
Yeah, I can
You're gonna keep them.
I can understand that.
So how did you guys meet? Being from different
We
areas.
met after college, both of us, through one of my best friends from college worked with Robert. And so there was some work event, I think I went, and that's how we met. And one thing led to another. Yeah.
How long has it been now?
It's a mixed marriage.
It'll be 10 years actually in March, coming March. So
it's another
Wow,
mixed
10
marriage.
already.
Rowan? Is that what you said?
Yes, Amanda is a Longhorn and Robert is an Aggie.
Oh, okay.
Texas.
I have to understand Texas football for that.
Right.
My daughter went to SMU.
Yeah.
The Mustang.
Daughter Wesley. She's Mustang. We loved going to Texas and Dallas when she was in college. It was wonderful.
Fun times.
Wow. Romaine?
Yes.
So,
Bill, you know what? We can see you now.
You can see us?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, then we
I
should
see you and Nancy.
Yes.
Diane, I'm going to shut the phone off. Diane, I'm going to hang up the phone.
Okay. She's hanging up the phone, and hopefully we're going to get
There
a
we go.
picture.
She's got it.
Hey.
See you.
All right.
No, I thought it was her.
I don't see you, Romaine.
No,
We don't see you yet.
No, I'm sorry. My thing just reorganized.
Nancy Lane.
You could.
Yes.
Can you see me?
Hi, Elaine. I haven't seen you and I don't know how long.
Forever. I know. I missed the last reunion.
There you are.
The last reunion.
I'm trying to figure this thing out. I had it.
Got it, Bill.
Yay, Bill.
And then-
This is Romaine's husband, Bill.
Oh, where's your hat?
Oh,
You have to
Romaine,
wear a hat.
there you go. Turn over a little bit, Romaine.
You're
Over.
lucky, and they
You're
just
lucky I have
got on the
both.
Zoom during the break.
My hat's upstairs. I have to run up and get it.
You have to just like push the computer down because we're seeing all of Bill's head, but only part of you, Romaine.
There you are. There.
Yeah, I'm on the floor.
There's our beautiful cousins. Well, Bill's still as handsome as always, and look.
Yeah.
Oh, Romaine, how beautiful. Romaine she just had a birthday.
Oh, yeah. Let's not talk about that.
Hey, we're alive. We're alive.
I know. I said that. I'm glad I'm alive. And yeah, exactly.
You know?
Well, actually, Bill and I will be celebrating our 48th anniversary at the end of the month.
Wow.
Yeah, 48.
Oh, congratulations. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
we look
Wedded
great.
bliss? Just wedded bliss?
Yes.
What
Yeah.
is the date? September what?
September 30th.
Okay, we're the 29th with 36 years.
Oh, yeah, you're the 29th?
And Joan?
And we're the 20th. We're the 20th with 45.
Wow. Hey, we're all doing good.
In September.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
I have to say, Nancy looks fabulous.
You. Me. Yeah.
Our-
The Queen
our-
Mother. She's got a crown. She's wearing her crown because she is the Queen Mother. This is what she was going to wear at the reunion.
She's beautiful.
I'm
She
still
reminds
looking
me a
for my
lot
crown.
of my mother.
And she told me
Yes.
she was going to wear this
Yes.
crown every day until we had an official reunion.
Do you know my grandson gave me a crown for my birthday?
Oh.
I have to, yeah. He said, "Grandma, you're a princess. I'm going to give you a crown." Wasn't that sweet?
Yes, it is. You look great.
I can't believe how good you look, Nancy. Really.
That's Romaine and Bill. Romaine and her
Oh, see,
husband
I
Bill.
can't go by the look of it now.
Do you need my
because
glasses?
I don't think it would have changed.
See, look how,
No, you still look the same.
Oh, yeah.
Just finding
Glasses or no glasses. But I
Nancy.
didn't know, I don't know who everyone is, really.
right, well, we'll
Nancy,
straighten
can
you
you
out. There's Nancy, who's named after you.
Now, was Nancy one of them one of the girls we met?
She was
Yes.
the girl we met 2 years ago. She came down to Myrtle Beach.
Oh,
We had a couple hour reunion, and this is her brother, Glenn.
okay.
What was that?
I thought he was part of our family.
Well, he is. These people are all
I
part
know,
of our
but Glenn
family.
was the other Glenn I was thinking.
Oh, Glenn and Nancy are Charles's children, and you used to babysit for Charles. Tell them the story about Charles.
Nancy, you told me how you babysat him and he took off all his clothes in the movie theater.
Oh, he did that. That was Charles.
Charles.
Can you tell it?
Long line of people, and he was just standing there, and I kept looking down at him, making sure he was there, and all of a sudden I look, and he's walking all the way down it. Then he takes his pants off. And he had his little shorts on. But I didn't know what more to do with him. I kept saying, "Con, you have to come with me." He was something, Charles was, really.
Devilish, she said. Oh,
Very
he's devilish. But obviously he was her favorite babysitter and then named you after Mom.
My mother used to babysit Charles a lot.
Say that again?
I said my mother, Rosalie, used to babysit Charles a lot.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
So he had lots of influential women in his life.
Yes, he did.
Mhm. You know, I never realized until Nancy came to Myrtle Beach one day, Romaine, that I realized that they moved very young. Like, you know, we left New Jersey and Pennsylvania and moved to South Carolina when I was 14. My sister Donna doesn't remember anything about any of her cousins, sadly, but I at least had an opportunity to know all of you.
Yeah.
But whereas Nancy and Glenn, I never realized Charles and Andrea moved to clear across the country. I never knew that for some reason, because the last time I saw Charles and Andrea was Elaine's wedding. Your first wedding. Yes.
So we grew up in Jersey, but ended up in Nancy ended up on her own as adults.
Oh.
So, but we were born and raised in northern New Jersey, right outside the city.
Oh,
I know that.
I was born in New Jersey.
and then Charles. So
Interestingly, I have a question about cousins because, oh, I'm sorry.
No, I just didn't understand that. So Charles and Andrea didn't move
I'm
west.
writing down.
You guys
No.
didn't move west.
Well, my mom Andrea lived here the last few years before she passed away.
I see.
She moved out here with our stepfather, Doug.
I see.
Because Nancy and I were both here. And so luckily we had that time with her, but unfortunately she got sick and passed here. But
No.
she really, she spent most of her life in New Jersey. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I see.
What city, what town in New Jersey?
So this is a question, interestingly, I have for all of you, because I remember when I was a kid, we grew up in a town called West Milford, which is up north.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my mom saying one summer that a bunch of Clisham cousins that I didn't know were at a house that they rented in Greenwood Lake. And she went there for the day, and I even had a picture of different family members. I'll have to find it and send it to you. And for some reason, Nancy and I didn't go that day, but it was Clisham's at this place, Greenwood Lake, which is in New Jersey and New York State. It was right on the border. It's a lake a lot of people would vacation at from the city and places. Do any of you recall that?
No, I don't.
I remember Greenwood Lake, but I don't. But
I know we used to go picnicking by a lake.
But that was Green Valley.
No, it wasn't Green Valley. It was just a lake that we would meet Aunt Martha and the kids and Uncle Glenny, and they all had the bag of food and everything. We all had our dinners in our little bags. And I remember
nice.
Aunt Martha telling him, "Don't go in the water." He did. So then she made him take off the bathing suit, and she put him in a diaper. That's what it was. She made him wear a diaper. And he said, "Mom, I don't want to wear this." But
She did that to Uncle Glennie?
No, to the, yeah, when he was a boy, a young boy.
Or you mean Charles?
Charles.
Oh, Charles, okay.
And it was funny. I can still remember that. He was mad, but there was nothing he could do because Aunt Martha said, "You're wearing this."
Because he went in the water.
Yeah.
So maybe, but that would have been long before you were born. What Mom's talking about, even though she remembers Green Lake.
Oh, like the reunion thing, yeah.
You know.
Right.
But I don't remember.
And my mom, Andrea, always told us, she said, you have all these great Clisham cousins you should meet someday. I remember her telling us that. And for whatever reason, we never, our paths just never crossed over the years. We would go to Scranton to visit, our grandma Martha often. And I remember meeting some of her siblings. Must have been on her Snyder side, but I really don't remember Clisham's, although I'm sure as a baby I must have met some of you. Nancy probably did too, right? Nancy, do you have any memories of
Aunt Ruth?
Meeting
Aunt Ruth or
Glenn, how old are you?
30?
I knew. I couldn't get a straight answer.
I'm 47.
Oh, so you're much younger than we are.
Yeah, so. So yeah, I mean, we were already in South Carolina, so, but, and I guess, yeah, Mom wouldn't remember any of you because, like I said,
No,
we moved to South Carolina in 66.
You were more.
66.
I was in upstate New York.
Mm-hmm.
Where in upstate?
I went to my undergrad at Syracuse, and then I taught at Cortland State for 3 years. And then I moved out to LA to go to grad school. And then I never went back. And so I'm still in California.
Nice. Are you, by the way, are you smoky down there too? Do you have bad air?
Yeah, it's not as bad where we are right now. Today is a lot better than the last few days, but the fire in Monrovia is still really bad. Right
It's been
the hills in LA.
terrible here, just awful. I mean, we haven't gone outside. We're just stuck. You don't even want to take a walk. It's so bad.
Mm. And that's going to be horrible. The rest of us
we're inside
about the virus, and then y'all can't go.
Yeah, it's really awful on top of the virus. Hopefully, we might get some good air tonight. They're saying we'll see, but the whole West Coast is on fire. It's pretty terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
See,
terrible.
like we left. When Darwin and I got married, and then within a year we were transferred to Houston. So we really, making our lives here, we really didn't have the opportunity to catch up with anyone and see anyone. And I don't know how much contact Darwin even had as a child with all the Clisham cousins.
Yes, some.
Well, when we were young, because we're all the same age, we used to be together at a lot of family events. Diane, Darwin, and I.
Elaine and I used to fight over Darwin, who's going to get the most attention from our adorable boy cousin Darwin? He was the first
girls.
He was the first boy we were in love with.
What did you call him again? Darahorse?
Darberhorse.
That's what Grandpa Ruth's husband Mo, your uncle,
our father.
Of course, yeah.
Always called him that. He had names.
I don't know why he ever got rid of it.
Papa would just come up with crazy names,
Nicknames.
He called Elaine Little Joe Led, and he named me Diney, and that stuck. And
how did I get such a name, huh?
So but yeah, we were always with Darwin. I remember Uncle Glennie really well. He was just one of the most handsome men I'd ever seen as a little kid. And then of course loved Aunt Martha, and I remember Uncle Bill. He was a wonderful man. And I remember my grandmother. I remember being in my grandmother's living room, and she grabbed Bill's arm because he said something about, well, I know you all want to talk, your family. And my grandmother, being so sweet, grabbed Bill's arm and said, Bill, you are now our family too. And that was just one of the sweetest things I remember as a little kid, my grandmother doing to welcome Bill into the family. She didn't want to make him feel bad because he wasn't Uncle Glennie, So, but it was a sweet memory. Elaine, do you remember that when Darwin came over one day when Trixie was having puppies, and we were telling Darwin, I mentioned this to Darwin. He didn't really remember this, but I'm very clear
I
on
want to share right now.
Elaine and I could not get over when Trixie, the dog, had puppies. My grandfather had a dog, and we didn't know where puppies came from. You know, we didn't know where babies came from.
No one told us anything.
So the fact that we are watching these puppies come out of this dog's vagina or behind or wherever the dog was, yeah, the puppies were coming out, and Elaine and I were like, oh my God, this is amazing. And Darwin showed up, and Elaine and I were trying to describe to Darwin how these puppies were born. And he just looked at us like we were crazy, but he doesn't remember it. But Elaine, I remember it. Do you?
Of course. For the rest of it. Okay, I will. Never all be together, and you're sharing this crazy story. And from that moment on, Diane and I were little kids referred to a bowel movement as going puppy.
And to get them trained, we all stood around the toilet and
said those words out loud.
Bye-bye as we
I had no intention of going that far with this story.
In my head. Nancy, you can tell.
We all, yeah.
All those years.
We all had to
You
sing,
guys
waving and singing to
that way.
flush the toilet, and we would start singing and waving.
I mean, we're like,
they loved it. I mean, so we got them trained.
Oh God, yeah.
I lived with my Aunt Nancy and my mother for quite a while at your Aunt Ruth's house. So we shared a lot of our early lives together.
Yeah, Nancy and Glenn and Amanda, you might not know that, but my mom was divorced, and Elaine's mother wound up being divorced, and we all lived. We all went back to live with my grandparents. So Elaine and I were raised in the same house, like sisters.
Oh, wow.
So even though we're cousins, we are, I mean, she's the closest. I mean, even though I have a sister, I actually have two sisters, one from my mother and one from my birth father. But Elaine and I are the only two sisters who share our youth, like most.
We're only 4 months apart in age, and we lived
Oh,
together
wow.
all those years.
So how old were you when that happened? Like what?
Oh, we were about 4 years old. Wouldn't you say, Elaine?
Wow.
3 or 4?
You were living in Nana and Papa's earlier before my parents got divorced, and then my mother brought me back to live in the house with Aunt Nancy, Diane, Nana, Papa, and some other relative.
Wasn't it an apartment? Wasn't it an apartment like 3 stories high?
It was the second story of a 4-house, apartment.
Okay.
2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. I slept on a pull-out couch. What do we used to call that? The Castro convertible.
I was going to say, it was a Castro convertible, I bet.
You remember that word? That's where I slept. I know. So Diane and I spent our childhood together.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cool story.
And then they moved to Pennsylvania briefly, and then to South Carolina.
Yeah.
Left me in Newark.
I know, it was sad. It was one of the saddest days of our lives when we had to leave, right, Mom?
Mm-hmm.
We had to lose all of our cousins.
What made you guys move to South Carolina?
Say that again?
Yeah.
What made you guys move to South Carolina?
My mother remarried a wonderful man, Pete, and some of you met him at the last reunion. And Daddy was transferred with Union Carbide to South Carolina. Yeah. And we went from New Jersey to Pennsylvania and the Philadelphia area. We were only there for 9 months before he decided to build the big Union Carbide plant in Florence, South Carolina. And you can bet that in 1966, it was the most difficult thing in my life to move, not only away from our grandparents, but also just the racial strife at that time. Being a Northerner, I was being called a Yankee and a carpetbagger, and I was being called, I was bullied. But luckily, got over it. But it was a tough move. But now I love South Carolina. A lot
we
has
all do, but
changed.
we cried, and I cried, and oh, we can't go. We just can't leave New Jersey. But we had to.
Yeah, it was
So
Daddy's
it was-
job, and we couldn't make him feel bad.
And it's okay because now half of New Jersey's moved to Myrtle Beach.
That's right. That's right. Romaine, can you
That's
see
true.
our cousins up there? The little young cousins?
Yeah.
They could be
Amanda
just
and Robert.
on the screen.
Aren't they? Look at that little
Look how
face.
good they're being.
Introduce them again, Amanda, to Romaine and Bill.
So this is June. June, do you want to say hi? June Martha, actually.
Hi, June.
Oh, that's precious.
Hi,
And tell them
June.
how old you are again.
Hi.
Tell them how old you are, Gene.
She's 3.
Yeah.
And this is, what's your name? What's your name?
What's your name? Tell them.
This is Bobby.
Hi, Bobby.
The dinosaur shirt.
Cool shirt.
Tell them how old you are.
Pretty cool.
4.
He's 4.
Wow.
We got 3 and 4-year-old right here.
So cool. So adorable.
Adorable.
And Romaine, do you tell us about your kids and grandchildren?
Well, I've got
And Romaine, where are you? Can you tell me where you live?
we live between Scranton and Wilkes-Barre, Pittston, Pennsylvania. It's called Pittston.
Okay.
Right in between, near the airport. The map is done, yeah.
Yeah, we've been up there. We were up there many times growing up.
Oh, yeah, well,
By
Bill's actually
Exeter?
Scranton.
By Exeter?
Well,
Right,
it's
Avoca
Exeter. My
Airport.
sister Ruthie lives there in Exeter. Yeah, who do you know in Exeter?
My grandmother, we used to visit in Exeter, Martha.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Martha.
she did have a house there. I remember being at that house.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you
only a
guys
couple
were
Maybe
talking
we
about
met
the
you.
change
Maybe we
house,
met you there. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I bet
that's
you
a
did.
couple of miles from our house. It's across the river. Yeah, I remember that.
So those
We
train
were
tracks
there
we were
often.
talking about earlier, were those the ones in Exeter?
There's train tracks everywhere, but they're not
They were
there.
talking about
Yeah.
train tracks by their house where they lived up in the Pittston Township.
Yeah,
up there.
Pittston Township, but actually it was called Browntown.
Browntown.
Yeah.
Browntown.
Browntown. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I
We
remember.
knew. We're going to Browntown.
But Diane,
Isn't
I
that
remember
where our
sitting-
father was born?
Yeah.
Yes, he was born in
Browntown, that
Browntown.
sounds familiar to me, yeah.
Yeah.
UD, where were you born?
I was born in New Jersey.
Yeah.
I was born in New Jersey.
And my mother, Jean, was born in Pennsylvania in the Browntown house.
Yes.
Or, you know, at that time.
Right.
And Ruth, her mother, and Mo, her father, left her with your grandma Gertie. And the reason I call her Mother Gertie is because my mother always referred to her as Mother Gertie because Grandma Gertie raised my mother until she was 4, right, Aunt Nancy? And when she was 4, they got her and brought her to New Jersey when they had established themselves and had Aunt Nancy.
Yeah.
So my mother was always a little like, whoa.
Had to be hard.
Yeah. So here I
Yeah,
found
Grandma
it.
Gertie.
So here's my mom
Yeah, beautiful. It's beautiful.
when I don't know how old she was there. It's just one of the ones I have there. So she's Nancy's sister, and her name is Regina. Was Regina, and she referred to herself as Jean.
Oh, no wonder. Okay, that's where, okay. I knew
Okay,
her
but
as Jean, so that's her name. Okay.
She never really went by Regina until, except for legal purposes. And then this is what she looked like many years later when she decided to dye her hair blonde.
I remember that might have been at our wedding. I remember that picture.
Something like that. It could have been.
I
Yeah.
remember something like that at our wedding.
With blonde hair. It's like I had 2 different mothers.
She had blonde hair for sure.
Okay, well we're gonna sign off. We're gonna get these kiddos to bath and bed, but
Honey, we're gonna do this again. We're gonna make sure we get the other Pennsylvania cousins involved. And then we'll get the cousin Sandy, and then cousin Debbie from Connecticut, who is Dick Toole's daughter. She told me she was going to join us, so I don't know why that didn't happen, but maybe we can try to reschedule again. Amanda and Robert, thank you for joining us.
It was so good seeing everybody and seeing cousins who we never met before.
Thank you, sweetie.
Nice to meet you.
All right, we're going to have a reunion soon.
Good to see you.
We're going to have that reunion. Bye.
Bye.
We definitely have to, you know, as soon as we get this, since we all get vaccinated, and we all have
Exactly.
Yes.
you know, because Romaine, I know you want to try to get the other cousins online with us.
Terrible that I didn't have this all organized.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Next time, I'll just make sure I contact everybody by phone. You know, anyone who doesn't respond to me by email, you know, I'll just call.
I don't have anything on my email at all about these things.
Well, luckily they all got it, or you would think I was fibbing to you. I'm sorry.
No, Romaine, you did get the hats. Had 5 hats?
I have them, yes. I have to give
Okay.
Rosemary hers. I gave the other girls theirs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you put on there that it was for Zoom wear or?
I said, see you soon.
Yes.
Oh.
I just assumed they knew about this. I just said, see you soon.
Zoom. You wrote on Zoom.
Did I write on Zoom? Did I can't
On mine
remember.
you did it. See you
See you soon on Zoom, something like that, yeah.
Is that Romaine?
Yes. This is Romaine and Bill.
So, no pressure, but
realize that, but you do look like this lady I'm thinking of.
Okay, no, it's Romaine.
Romaine, I haven't seen you since we left.
Well, Romaine, you saw Romaine at the last reunion, but that's been
Yeah.
a long time. I'm sorry. What?
oh, I was going to say no pressure before people have to go. I would love to hear a limerick, but there's no pressure at all.
Oh, I don't think that would take a lot of stress for Mom to do some limericks. See, Nancy would like to hear you do some limericks.
Oh, that's where that came
from. Mom is famous for limericks. Come in closer. And so Mom learned these limericks.
Do not encourage her.
She says she learned these limericks from my birth father because he's dead and gone, and you know he was a jerk, and so she blames him for teaching her these dirty limericks. But
they're really not dirty.
But she's incredibly astute about these limericks. So why don't you do one, Mom, for
How
us?
come you didn't learn them?
No, I'll help you.
Get her started on.
Once was a
Give her a hint.
Oh, no, that's the dirty one.
No, that's what Nancy wants to hear, those limericks.
Yes.
Oh,
You
die.
can do it.
Oh,
This is our family, Mom. You're the queen mother. They will love these limericks.
I forget them.
Get her started. Oh no.
Doesn't anybody remember limericks from?
Yeah, they all remember limericks.
There once was a guy from Mass who had 2 big balls made of brass. When he struck them together, he sang stormy weather, and lightning shot out of his ass. Now that's very religious.
I have never heard her say anything like that.
Yeah, that's the best
How about
one.
Skinner?
Bravo!
Died. Skinner died.
Nancy, young Nancy.
We have 2 more.
Nancy's encouraging you to do another.
There once was a guy named Skinner who took his girlfriend to dinner. At 8:45, they began to dine, and 9:45 it was dinner. Not dinner. Skinner was no beginner. He had a dinner before dinner. Now, don't ask me to do anything else.
One more.
That's awful.
There's one more, Nancy.
Come on, Nancy. Don't disappoint.
I'm glad my boyfriend's sitting upstairs and he doesn't hear me doing this
Yeah, Mom.
in public.
Oh yeah, it's true.
There was the man from Adair.
What was the man from Adair? No, it wasn't Adair.
Okay.
Once was a guy from Montclair who was banging his girl on the stairs. No, I didn't get the balls in there.
There once was a guy from Montclair who was banging his girl on the stair.
With one mighty stroke, he finished her off in midair.
Yeah.
There's more to it.
Yeah, then we lost a little bit of rhythm in there, but
Yeah, there once was a guy from Montclair who was banging his girl on the stair.
That's it.
And with one mighty stroke,
Go ahead.
The banister broke, and he finished her off in midair. There you go. Right. Yes.
Yes.
When most mothers were reading beautiful little stories to their children in bed, I was getting silly songs and dirty limericks. So what can I say? What can I say? But she's precious, isn't she?
Ma'am, you're going to record those?
Yes, we have recorded
Oh,
them.
May.
They were very popular at that era.
We
the
did
50s.
record them. We have them
I
recorded
remember
for
them,
sure.
but you're younger. There's nobody.
But yeah, the
Men, do you remember them?
limericks were very popular. Bill, do you remember limericks?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You remember.
Oh, okay.
So it was a
I
very
don't feel bad.
very popular thing in the 50s for sure.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
So Romaine, you got to help us. Who's going to write down some of this? And just like we need to sketch out. Elaine has a little bit of a family tree written out, but we need to kind of write down what we know.
It was right. I was wrong. I just had in my head that there were more siblings originally. Mackenzie, my daughter, had to do this at some point a long time ago. We save everything. Got that from Nana Ruth. So she made out a family tree, and this is, your side that starts with Mother Gertie or Gertrude Snyder and Michael Clisham. And then we had them all, but I thought there were a couple others that I couldn't count for. So, but Romaine, you said there were only 8 of them. I just thought there were more. That.
Hey, I have a question for everyone. So I pulled up I did that 23andMe. And I have this list of cousins. Can I read you some names and tell me if they ring any bells? Okay, tell me if you recognize these people, because they could be our cousins. I got a George Dougherty. He's a second cousin.
Dougherty?
The name Dougherty.
Dougherty is in one of our family names.
I know Dougherty.
Okay.
Cousins, the Doughertys.
Yeah. Who were they, Aunt Nan?
They lived down that long road from where Mother Gertie lived.
Yeah, I remember knowing that. Okay, maybe.
There's a Jennifer Bodner, Dylan Walker, Sarah Morgan, Diana Light, Bianca Schuler, Deborah Manville, Wanda Jerez, Crystal Hurst, Daniel Meir. Those are all like second to third cousins for me.
Yeah, they're probably all different married names, so yeah.
Right, just curious. I just wanted to throw them out there to see if it rang any bells. One of them I actually figured out was a Snyder related to Martha Snyder, my grandmother.
Martha. Yeah,
when we connected on Facebook, a Vanderveer family, but we put 2 and 2 together because she emailed me because we were like really close genetic cousins, and she said, well, we must be related by grandparents. And sure enough, it was one of like Martha's siblings' offspring.
Wow.
Wow.
It's crazy. Yeah. Anyway, thought I'd throw that out there and see.
We remember.
The thing that I'm just going to pull out of all of this is that there's Snyders on both sides of the family to make ultimate
That is so
confusion.
crazy.
I mean, this is amazing to me. Absolutely amazing.
Inbreeding.
That's what I said a long time ago.
That's what I'm worried about. More than anything.
Well, luckily, everyone turned out very good in your family so far,
Yes,
Joan. You know? Well, you know what? Maybe we can, I mean, I don't want to shove this down anybody's throat, but maybe we can do this again. And like, this is September, like maybe the week before Thanksgiving or something, that's kind of a family time, sometime in November. We could pick a date. Is Sunday kind of good? This kind of work for everybody, a Sunday afternoon on the West Coast and 7 o'clock at night. And I'll make sure next time to place a phone call. I know Debbie, Dick Toole's daughter was going to join us, Romaine. I've been in contact with her. I kind of found her. And she was going to be, she even confirmed that she got the email, but she must have forgotten.
And that's the Debbie we grew up with then?
Debbie, Dick's
another
daughter.
generation, Debbie.
Say that again?
she's Dick Toole's daughter, so she's they're a little younger than us, right?
Just a little bit younger than us. I don't know how old she is.
She would be your generation, yes.
Yeah. We used to play with her when we go up to the house.
Yes, we did play with
her. A lot of time in Connecticut.
And she remembers that.
A lot of the time with the Tools.
Mm-hmm. Right.
For whatever reason.
The great flood in Connecticut?
What, for me?
Grandma Gertie, my aunt, would it be Aunt Mary, Grandma Gertie's daughter Mary lived in.
Did you check on Howard?
Yeah. Right.
We were there too. We all went to visit, and we left the day before the big flood happened.
Oh, that flood,
right? Was in the flood, and they had to take her out of the roof of the house, the attic, from the roof, in a helicopter. And there's actually, someone had a video of that. I don't know. I have to find out who has it.
Cousin Sandy remembers all that. She was there.
Yeah, Sandy was there, and my mother had left with all of us, the 5 of us, or we would have been in it too. But yeah, that was something. I never forgot that.
Cousin Sandy, Glenn, and Nancy is
Oh,
Uncle Paul's daughter. Yeah. And she lives in Washington, New Jersey. And she's in her 70s. And she's a hoot. She's beautiful, sweet. She's visited us about 3 years ago. I don't know why she's not here, but she never responded to the email. And I tried to call her, but I will orchestrate if y'all like the idea of trying to do this again in November, and we'll do a better job of calling each other and confirming. I know Glenn and Nancy and Darwin, y'all were awesome in responding to me that you got the email, and I'm grateful.
And what's that?
Who do you have?
I want to show you all this picture and tell me if you recognize.
Yes.
There's a glare. I can't see it.
Yeah, the one in the middle.
Oh. Aunt Mary.
Aunt Mary. And Uncle
That's our mom.
And Uncle Gil. Gil's on
So when I was
Jean, isn't that Jean or Ann?
I can't see it. I can't see
Ann
it.
and Jean. Ann is on the right and Jean.
Ann is on the left, on the bottom left.
Yep.
You just
Who's standing
so that was the Greenwood Lake thing I was telling you about.
Oh.
That was, I found this old picture of my mom when she went to Greenwood Lake that day.
There you go.
Right near our house. So that was right, 20 minutes from where we grew up, and they were renting this house. And so she said, all these Clishams are there. So they are, okay, I knew you'd know.
That's the Connecticut cousins.
Oh my God, wait a minute. Romaine, who's the person in the blue jacket standing up?
That's Andrea, isn't it? Andrea?
That's my mom.
Andrea.
That's my mom with the headband,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes,
Okay.
Mary.
Put your hand behind it like this.
Well, it's hard because it's on a phone, so I'm trying to...
Oh, yeah, that we can see better.
Now I can see, it was all glare before.
Mary, Uncle Gil, Andrea.
Mary and Gil, right.
Jean and Ann.
And Jean.
Jean and Ann. And Jean
I have
and Ann are named the same names as my mother and Aunt Nancy. Jean
and my sister Regina, too, was named after.
Isn't that weird that Aunt Mary named her daughters the same thing as Aunt Ruth did?
Yep.
Jean,
and my mother.
Mom's real name is Ann, but they called her Nancy. So there was Jean and Ann, just like the Connecticut Jean and Ann. Isn't that
My
weird?
middle name is Mary.
I have a funny story that I just remembered about Aunt Mary.
There were good ones.
Aunt Mary Toole.
Yeah, Aunt Mary.
Because she was a character. I mean, I only met her once or twice, but she was a hoot.
Yep.
Oh, I love
At our wedding, I don't know if you probably don't remember this, but our wedding,
Darwin and the veil came off.
Yes.
The veil. I remember.
Yes.
We didn't talk about that.
And she was dancing, and she stepped on my
Yeah.
veil and
her wig
snapped
fell off.
My veil came off.
Yes.
And then she slipped and fell from the veil, and her wig went across the floor. Her wig went across the floor, and she went running over to pick up her wig and put it on her head. Of course, it was all askew. Yes, and I had a giant hole in the back of my veil.
Oh my God! I remember that.
That's right.
Fun wedding.
That was at my wedding.
We were all good dancers.
That is a great story. Great story. We got to write down the stories, and we got to. write down, is there anybody that wants to volunteer to write down the family, what we know of the family tree?
Well, I'm writing as we're talking here, but okay, Gil and Mary had how many children?
3.
Jean,
okay,
Ann,
so
and
Gil
Dick.
and Mary had
Jean, Ann, and Dick.
Yeah.
Jean, Ann,
And
and
Dick.
Dick. That's what I thought.
And Ann just
And
passed
Ann
away.
recently passed away, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Who recently passed away?
Ann.
Ann.
Oh.
She had a colon cancer,
She
Elaine.
had colon cancer.
Oh.
That's all I know is that I met her at my wedding and then I heard that she died. Unfortunately, I don't know anything in the middle. But Gil and Mary had Jean, Ann, and Dick. And then Paul had just Sandy, correct?
Yeah. And Aunt Muriel was his wife.
Right. Aunt Muriel was his wife. James and Miriam didn't have any children. Rosalie had you 5, the 5 R's, right? I'm sorry?
Uncle Jimmy considered the 5 of us.
That's true.
Did he? How sweet. That's really sweet. And then Ruth had Nancy and Jean. Is that it?
Yep.
Okay, so that gets me caught up because that's what I had originally had, but I wasn't sure. And then because everybody goes by different names, like your mom, I didn't know your mom was named Regina all these years, Elaine.
Oh.
I thought it was Jean. I didn't know she was Regina.
Right.
I mean, things like that I didn't, that's why everybody's so mixed up.
Regina Ruth.
And Mom's name is Ann, but they called her Nancy from the time she was born.
Well,
Yeah.
My mother's name, Rosalie.
Baptized
Her
Catholic.
name is
You
Anna.
gotta have a saint's name.
I'm sorry, say that again, Romaine?
Saint's
My
name.
mother's
Nancy is
was
not a saint.
Rosalie, but her real name is Anna Rosalie. Her first name is Anna.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Well.
And my first name's Mary.
No,
Sorry, we're all laughing.
And then, of course, Glenn and Nancy's dad we called him Glenn, but was he Charles or was he Glenn?
Glenn Charles.
Glenn Charles.
It was Glenn Charles, but you called him Glenn. But some people called him Charlie. I remember that when I said
called him
Excuse me.
Charlie. Yeah.
Uncle Charlie. And then all of a sudden he was a Glenn. Yeah, gosh. Now
yeah, so that's why it's so confusing.
Yeah.
But I love it. It's really good to hear all this.
So cool.
Aren't you happy?
So a good idea, November sometime. Pick a
Yeah.
Sunday,
That's good.
Let's
maybe
do
the
it.
Sunday before Thanksgiving. Sunday before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Do we want to pencil that in? If that becomes a problem for anybody, like Glenn, if you get a great invitation to go to Europe or something, let me know.
All right.
Go to
will.
climb Mount Clisham.
And
In the middle of Corona.
and truly, as soon as we can all get vaccinated, we'll re-up on the family reunion.
Yeah, I just want to bring
Guy,
one
can I say something? I'm sure I represent everyone. Thank you so much for all the effort that
Oh my God.
Oh, absolutely.
both of you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I
Thank
know
you.
what you did and you tried to do for all of us more than once to share what's really important to all of us. And
If I didn't, thank you, Elaine.
I really, really appreciate it and love you for that. It's very special for us to have you doing
Well,
that.
you know what? If I
We were
didn't
so
believe,
disappointed.
if I didn't believe that y'all, I know how you all feel because once I got connected with Glenn and Nancy, I was able to send them a bunch of pictures. They wanted to see more. They called me. They wanted to know who this was and who this. So I know that all of you feel the same way about family as I do, or I wouldn't be, pushing it. But I'm glad I'm not pushing it. I'm glad I'm glad we're pushing together.
Yeah.
So we'll plan on the Sunday before Thanksgiving, 7 and 4, just like this. 7 o'clock on the East Coast and 4 o'clock on the West Coast.
Perfect.
And we'll try to get all the other cousins in. And Chuck, thank you for your technical knowledge.
Yes, thank you, Chuck.
Because I've never
Thank
handled this.
you.
He always handles it, even when we're doing our TV stuff. He handles it. So thank you, Chuck, and for being there listening to all of this. Love you all, and we'll reconnect soon. Darber Horse, thank you for these hats. We love them.
Everybody.
Awesome.
Darva horse.
Love
where is
you.
it?
I tell you, I recognize your voice any place. When I
Diane, tell Nancy, don't forget the condoms.
Don't forget the condoms, Mom.
Oh, God, Nancy, like multicolor or
This is gonna be
Multicolored.
trouble.
She said she's going to have multicolored condoms given out at the family reunion.
Yes, I got them.
Yes, I have them.
Clishams are smart and always safe.
Chuck just said, Mom's boyfriend, whose name is Howard, he's 100 years old. He's asleep on our couch.
You wouldn't know he was 100 though.
No, you wouldn't.
So we got to go wake him up.
You might
Love you.
With the condoms.
No.
Love ya.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Everybody stay healthy. Stay healthy.
You too.
Stay healthy.
Thank you, honey.